Hello there, and welcome to this explainer. I'm Michelle, and I am just so genuinely glad you're here with me today. You know, navigating a housing transition when you're 50 or older, it can feel really overwhelming, right? Especially when you're trying to piece together how a move is going to affect your overall financial picture. My goal today is simply to help you walk through this information with confidence, clarity, and most importantly, peace of mind. We're going to break down some really important insights on a topic that I know weighs heavily on many homeowners' minds. Will selling my home reduce my Social Security benefits? If you've ever asked yourself this question, I want you to know right off the bat that you are absolutely not alone. It's an incredibly common concern, and honestly, it's completely understandable. For so many of us, Social Security is a foundational piece of our retirement income. So the thought of somehow jeopardizing that just because you want to right-size your living situation, that's stressful. So let's just take a collective breath and clear up the confusion together. The short answer to that big question is, well, it depends entirely on your specific program. There's just no one-size-fits-all rule here. The actual impact a home sale will have on your benefits really comes down to which type of Social Security you currently receive. Let's dive right into the 3 benefit types. To truly understand how a home sale might affect you, we first need to look at the 3 very different Social Security programs out there. And what's actually really interesting here is how clearly these programs separate from one another. Notice the last column on your screen for SSA Retirement and SSDI, which stands for Social Security Disability Insurance. Neither of these programs has an asset limit. And why is that? Because they're based on your own work history and the contributions you've made over your entire working life. On the flip side, we have SSI, or Supplemental Security Income, which is fundamentally different. It's entirely needs-based, meaning there are strict limits on what you can own and still receive that assistance. So let's start with some really reassuring news for the vast majority of you watching. If you receive standard SSA retirement benefits, or SSDI, selling your home for a profit has absolutely no direct impact on your eligibility. None at all. There are no limits on your assets, selling your home isn't going to reduce your monthly payments, and it's certainly not going to trigger some unexpected eligibility review. So for most folks, this specific fear turns out to be a complete non-issue. Big sigh of relief, right? Now let's look at the needs-based exception, SSI. If you receive SSI, Supplemental Security Income, this is where we really need to pay careful attention because the rules do change quite a bit. Because SSI is a needs-based program, the Social Security Administration puts strict limits on what they call your countable resources. We're talking just $2,000 for an individual and $3,000 for a married couple. Now, here's the catch. Your primary residence doesn't count toward this limit while you're actually living in it. But the very minute you sell that home, those proceeds turn into cash, and suddenly that cash is accountable asset that could easily push you over the limit and potentially cause you to lose your SSI eligibility. But don't worry, there is a very important, highly helpful exception built into the rules. The crucial point here is a 90-day window. The SSA gives you exactly 90 days to reinvest your home sale proceeds right back into a new primary residence. If you purchase and move into a replacement home within that specific time frame, those sale proceeds will not count against your resource limit at all, keeping your SSI benefits completely safe. Knowing about this deadline before you list your home is, well, it's absolutely vital. Moving on to the hidden tax angle. Now, let's pivot for a second to something that even standard SSA and SSDI recipients really need to plan for. Even when a home sale doesn't affect your actual eligibility, there's an indirect impact we absolutely have to discuss just to ensure you have the full picture. You see, a large capital gain from selling your home can temporarily inflate your overall taxable income for that specific year. And why does that matter? Well, as your combined income goes up, a larger portion of your Social Security benefits might become subject to federal income taxes. In fact, depending on just how high your income is that year, up to 85% of your Social Security benefits could become taxable. And there's actually one more piece to this tax puzzle. A high income year triggered by a home sale can also trigger something known as IMRMA. That stands for Income Related Monthly Adjustment Amount. Simply put, it means your Medicare Part B and Part D premiums could temporarily go up 2 years after your home sale. It's like a delayed reaction. This is exactly why a little bit of early planning is so incredibly valuable. You want to see these things coming. Let's look at a tale of 2 neighbors. To really bring these rules to life, let's look at 2 neighbors in their late 60s who are both getting ready to sell. This brilliantly illustrates how different situations require completely different strategies. First, we have Margaret. She receives standard SSA retirement benefits. Her home has appreciated significantly over the years, so she smartly sat down with a financial advisor beforehand to plan for how the sale might increase her taxable income and possibly affect her Medicare premiums down the road. Next door, we have Gerald, who receives SSI. Because Gerald knew about those strict resource limits, he planned his sale carefully so he could buy and move into a new condo right within that 90-day window. Because they both took the time to understand the rules before they sold, they both enjoyed totally stress-free outcomes. And that's exactly what we want for you.
Which brings us to proactive next steps.
So what should you do if you are even just thinking about selling? Well, you definitely don't have to rush, but there are a few simple, proactive steps you can take at your own pace. First off, pull out your most recent award letter from the Social Security Administration, just to confirm exactly which program you're actually enrolled in. Second, try to have a no-pressure conversation with a CPA or tax advisor about how a sale might affect your taxes for that specific year. And third, if you are on SSI, go ahead and talk to a benefits counselor at your local SSA office. It's also a fantastic idea to consult with an SRES. That's a seniors real estate specialist who really understands these timelines and can help you map out your entire financial picture. I want to leave you with a thought I always come back to. Knowledge is protection. The more you understand before you sell, the fewer surprises you face afterward. Gathering all this information early on doesn't obligate you to move. It simply puts you entirely in the driver's seat, totally in control of your own future. As a quick reminder, this explainer is meant purely for educational purposes. Because everyone's financial situation is uniquely their own, please make sure to consult a qualified CPA, tax advisor, or financial professional before making any final decisions regarding your home or your benefits. Remember, if you are starting to think about what comes next, you really truly don't have to figure it out on your own. Sometimes it just helps to talk things through. I've actually put together a free resource library covering everything from downsizing to senior living options. And you are always welcome to reach out to me to explore your options with absolutely zero pressure. So now that you know your benefits are protected, what does your ideal next chapter look like? Thank you so much for joining me today, and take care.